In the annals of medieval history, few figures shine as brightly, yet remain as profoundly enigmatic as Hildegard of Bingen. A visionary, composer, philosopher, mystic, and abbess, her life was a tapestry woven with divine revelation and earthly defiance. Imagine a time shrouded in patriarchal doctrine, where a woman's voice was rarely heard beyond the cloister walls. Yet, Hildegard not only spoke, but sang, wrote, and created, leaving behind a legacy that continues to baffle and inspire. She was a nun who composed what many consider the first opera, a trailblazer whose spiritual intensity was matched only by her audacious intellect. But beneath the layers of saintly reverence, an even more astonishing secret lay hidden within her sacred texts. Intimate, provocative drawings that shatter our perceptions of medieval female expression. Who was this woman, and what compelled her to push boundaries in such unexpected ways? Born in 1098 to a noble family in present-day Germany, Hildegard was pledged to the church as a tithe at the tender age of 8. Confined to the Benedictine monastery of Dissebodenberg, her early life was one of strict asceticism and fervent study under the tutelage of the anchoress Jutta. But Hildegard was no ordinary child. From her earliest years, she experienced vivid, all-encompassing visions, which she later described as the shade of the living light. Not hallucinations, but a profound, direct spiritual perception that integrated all her senses. For decades, she kept these divine communications a secret, fearing ridicule or accusations of heresy. This hidden world of spiritual insight would become the wellspring of her extraordinary future works, but its revelation would require immense courage and divine intervention. In her early 40s, Hildegard finally received a divine command: write down what you see and hear. With the encouragement of her confessor, Volmar, and the reluctant approval of her superiors, she began to transcribe her visions. This was a monumental undertaking for any scholar, let alone a cloistered woman in the 12th century. Her seminal work, Scivia's Know the Ways of the Lord, was a prophetic and theological masterpiece, rich with symbolic imagery and cosmic narratives. Word of her visions reached Pope Eugenius III, who, after due diligence, authenticated her prophecies, granting her an authority few women of her era could ever dream of. This papal endorsement transformed Hildegard from a quiet nun into a respected prophetess, her voice suddenly echoing across Christendom. As Hildegard's fame grew, so did her community of nuns. Feeling constrained by the male-dominated monastery, she sought to establish her own independent convent. Despite fierce opposition from the monks, who benefited from her growing prestige and the dowries of her aristocratic novices, Hildegard, guided by another vision, fought relentlessly. She successfully founded the convent at Rupertsberg, a testament to her unyielding will and spiritual conviction. Here, she cultivated an environment where women could pursue intellectual and spiritual growth unhindered. Rupertsberg became a beacon of female scholarship and artistic expression, a vibrant center of learning and creativity under Hildegard's visionary leadership. Hildegard's visions weren't just seen, they were heard. She believed music was the highest expression of the divine, a direct echo of heavenly harmony. Her extraordinary musical compositions, collected in the Symphonia Harmoniae Celestium Revelationum, Symphony of the Harmony of Celestial Revelations, challenged the conventions of plain chant. Her melodies soared, often spanning wide vocal ranges, imbued with a deeply mystical and emotionally charged quality that set them apart. Far from simple hymns, her works were intricate sonic landscapes designed to elevate the listener to a spiritual plane. She saw music as a pathway to God, a sacred language capable of expressing the inexpressible, solidifying her place as one of history's most innovative composers. Among her musical works stands a dramatic masterpiece, Ordo Virtutum, or Order of the Virtues. Written around 1151, this allegorical morality play is widely considered the earliest extant example of a liturgical drama with musical accompaniment, a proto-opera. It tells the compelling story of Enigma, the human soul, caught in a cosmic struggle between the 16 virtues and the devil. While the virtues sing their parts, the devil, crucially, only speaks or shouts, representing his dissonant, unharmonious nature. This innovative use of spoken word versus sung melody, combined with a linear narrative, created a groundbreaking theatrical experience, centuries before what we traditionally recognize as opera began in Italy. The Ordo Virtutum unfolds as a profound psychological and spiritual battle. The human soul, initially eager for divine life, is tempted by the devil to abandon the virtues for worldly pleasures. Each virtue, humility, charity, chastity, obedience, and more, sings its persuasive arguments, guiding the soul back to grace. The devil, a booming, unmusical voice, mocks and belittles, attempting to drag the soul into despair. This dramatic tension, expressed through music and stark characterization, offered a unique form of engagement for its monastic audience, allowing them to witness and partake in the eternal struggle between good and evil, virtue and vice, within the human heart. It was profound storytelling made manifest through sound and spectacle. Beyond her theological and musical genius, Hildegard was also a keen observer of the natural world and a prolific writer on medicine. Her works, Physica, Natural History, and Causae et Curae, Causes and Cures, reveal an astonishingly comprehensive understanding of medieval science, herbal remedies, and holistic healing. She categorized hundreds of plants, animals, and minerals, detailing their medicinal properties and applications. Her approach was deeply intertwined with her spiritual philosophy, believing that humanity, nature, and the cosmos were intrinsically connected, all reflecting God's divine order. Hildegard's medical writings demonstrate a practical, empirical mind, blending ancient wisdom with her own unique insights into wellness and the body's intricate workings. And then there are the Vulvas. Within her meticulously illustrated manuscripts, among the dazzling cosmic mandalas and intricate theological diagrams, art historians made a startling discovery: anatomical drawings of female genitalia. These were not crude doodles, but detailed, almost clinical depictions of vulvas. Their presence within a sacred, spiritual text from a medieval nun sent shockwaves through the academic world. Why would Hildegard, or her scribes under her direction, include such explicit imagery? Were they symbolic, medicinal, or something far more radical? This unexpected revelation profoundly complicated the traditional, sanitized image of the Saint of Bingen, hinting at a deeper, more unconventional layer to her genius. The interpretations of Hildegard's vulva drawings are manifold and fiercely debated. Some scholars suggest they were medicinal, linked to her healing texts and women's health. Others propose they held symbolic significance, perhaps representing the divine feminine, the sacred creative principle, or even a nuanced understanding of human procreation. Could they have been tools for instruction, breaking taboos around female anatomy in an age of ignorance? Regardless of the precise intent, their very existence challenges modern assumptions about medieval piety and female agency. They force us to re-examine the boundaries of artistic expression and scientific inquiry within the cloister, painting a picture of a nun far more attuned to the physical world than previously imagined. Hildegard of Bingen died in 1179, leaving behind an unparalleled legacy. She was a woman who dared to speak to popes and emperors, to challenge monastic authorities, and to craft an artistic and intellectual output that remains staggering in its breadth and originality. From her prophetic visions and groundbreaking music to her scientific observations and the enigmatic vulva drawings, Hildegard consistently pushed the boundaries of what was expected of a woman, let alone a nun, in the Middle Ages. Her story is a testament to the power of conviction, a reminder that genius often flourishes in the most unexpected places, and that history's most compelling figures are rarely simple, but rather glorious tapestries of contradiction and defiance. Hildegard of Bingen remains an enduring enigma, a woman of extraordinary contradictions who defied the confines of her era. She was a saintly mystic who penned earthly medical texts, a visionary composer who challenged musical norms, and a cloistered nun whose manuscripts held surprisingly frank depictions of the female form. Her life's work compels us to question our preconceived notions of medieval history, of gender roles, and of the very nature of genius. Hildegard wasn't just a figure from the past. She was a timeless revolutionary, a fierce spirit whose voice, music, and art continue to resonate, inviting us to look deeper into the mysteries she left behind.